all your customers are not the same. Don't keep making this very terrible mistake. All your customers are not the same. Business is not a democracy. It's not like politics. It's not a one man one vote or one woman one vote. It's not equal rights. That's not what business is. Business is a meritocracy, particularly when you're dealing with your customers. So what it means is that those people who spend more on your business, those people who buy more from you, those customers who are more loyal to you, they deserve priority treatment and preferential treatment. And the reason why this is very important is that the refrain of anybody who has a business right now is, I want more customers. I'm looking for more customers. I'm looking for more customers. So on social media, you find people who are teaching you how to run ads on social media. You find people who are trying to teach you the latest gimmick or tactic to get customers. Everybody's in the game of how to get more customers, how to get new customers, new customers. But the problem is new customers are expensive. It's expensive to convert a stranger into a buying customer. It's just expensive, particularly in this digital age. If you're happy giving all your money to Facebook and the likes, right? That's what it will cost you to get a new customer. It's even cheaper in the digital world. In the conventional sense, in the traditional sense, many businesses cannot afford a billboard or a TV ad or a radio ad. Getting new customers is expensive. It's hard. Yeah, the geeks will call it CAC, customer acquisition cost. There's a cost to getting a customer, right? But where the opportunity lies is in your existing customer. The moment somebody buys from you the first time, that is a very interesting and pivotal moment, because what you do with somebody who buys from you the first time would make a big difference between how sustainably you are getting sales and how you're always on the treadmill looking for new customers. The moment of the first sale, the moment somebody buys from you the first time, is a critical opportunity that many businesses are missing. That's because a business that is built on one-time transactions, people just buy from you once and you don't see them anymore. They just keep one-time transactions, one-time transactions. That's business A. And then business B has a slightly different model, which is that people keep buying from the business. They don't just buy once and you don't see them anymore, right? You have returning customers. And the power of a business is returning customers. Why? Because they form the foundation of your business. Whether there is a recession, whether there's an epidemic or a pandemic, whether there is a crisis, no matter what happens, the returning customers, your loyal customers, are the bedrock of a business. Transactional customers will leave. They will find cheaper prices. They easily get carried away by people who are running promos and giveaways and discounts. But your loyal customers are your own. They find it very difficult. They are attached to you. So there's a sense of loyalty that they have with you. So the challenge here is that many people are running their businesses based on transactions. And if you are running your business based on transactions, you're on a treadmill. The moment you stop buying ads, or the moment you stop feeding the beast, no more sales. That's the problem with transactional businesses. That's the problem with businesses that are only looking for buy from me now, buy from me, buy from me now. I'm always selling, 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 selling. The question is not, do you need new customers? The question is not, I need 100 new customers this month. How am I going to get them? That's not the question. The question is, how can I retain more people in my business so that they become loyal customers? I will prefer to have a business that has 100 loyal customers than a business that has 5,000 customers, and most of them are transactional customers. Most of them are first-time customers that will buy from me once. I will hardly, buy from me again. Except what you're selling, except you don't have confidence in what you're selling, except what you have is a scam. Why would you sell something that people will need on an ongoing basis? Whether it is dry cleaning, whether it's a barber shop, whether you are a trainer, whether you sell beauty products, whether it's hair accessories or whatever it is. If you sell something that people use on a regular basis, there is no way to justify that people buy from you once and you don't see them again. That means your business is leaking. You're always going to be spending money, time, and effort looking for new customers. So your problem is not new customers. Your problem is you are not retaining enough people in your business to make them loyal and tied to you. And the essence of today's video is to show you some ways, practical and powerful ways, proven ways, that you can maximize that opportunity of a first-time customer. The first time somebody buys from you, how you can leverage that opportunity and translate it from a one-time transaction into a relationship. Now, this word is going to be featuring a lot as I go on within this recording, right? Relationship. That is the goal. That is what differentiates a business that has returning customers and loyal customers from a business that is on a treadmill and is always looking for one-time customers, always running Instagram ads, Facebook ads. You just want to sell today. You don't really bother about tomorrow because you just keep spending. But a business that has loyal customers doesn't need to bother that much because they have a bedrock of loyal customers that will keep returning to them. The first way to utilize the opportunity, the moment somebody buys from you the first time, is to give them the opportunity to do long-term business with you. So what I mean is, if you are selling a product or a service, is there an offer you can make that ties the person with you? Now, the academics will call this switching costs. And what the switching cost is that when you are using a product, how difficult, how expensive will it be for you to stop using that product and start using another product? If it's going to cost you something, if it's going to require a sacrifice, then the switching cost is high. And what that means is that it gives you an advantage. If switching from you to another person is going to be difficult, that's an advantage for you. It's a competitive advantage. But if it will not cost the customer anything to switch, they are your customer today and tomorrow they switch instantly, that low switching cost is a competitive disadvantage to you. Because what it means is that people can stop doing business with you. They don't need to sacrifice anything. All they just need to do is snap, and then they are somebody else's customer. So you need to start thinking about the switching costs in your business. One way to build up switching costs is to give customers the opportunity to do long-term business with you. That is where long-term plans come from. So if you are doing one-time transactions, do you have a monthly plan? If you are a gym, for example, and you are charging people anytime they come in and use your gym facility, you charge them per visit, per transaction. Do you have a monthly plan? Do you have a quarterly plan? Do you have an annual plan? So why should somebody sign on to your annual plan when they can just pay you anytime they come? So that is the question you need to answer. And usually the best way to answer this is that if you pay for a longer term plan, you pay less than somebody who is paying on a day-to-day basis. So customers can be very rational. So they can calculate that, this year my New Year resolution is I want to lose 20 kilograms, right? And I've dedicated to, visiting the gym throughout this year, right? So when you're offering the person a 1-year plan, you're actually aligning with that person's New Year resolution. That's why my advice, this is one giveaway, right? The best time to sell annual plans is in January, February, and March, because that is when the influence and the impact of New Year resolutions is still high. So when people have made New Year resolutions and they're saying, this year I'm going to lose 20 kg, what you do is you match them. Instead of selling them, anytime you come to my gym, pay 2,000 naira or 3,000 naira. Say, no, we have a 1-year plan. And by the time you prorate it, you're paying like 750 naira or 500 naira per visit. So it is cheaper for you in the long term. And the long term benefits you because you have a New Year resolution. You're looking at the long term. So by offering people the opportunity to do long-term business with you, they see that for them it is cheaper in the long term. But the advantage it gives you is that it raises your switching cost. It now becomes more difficult for that person to leave you. Imagine somebody signs on to a 1-year plan to your gym in February, right? And then there's this new gym in town by July that is looking for new customers. It's going to be difficult to steal this your customer because there's a cost. They've already paid for 1 year. It's not going to be easy for them to just switch because they're going to lose money. So you have a seat in that fight because even though you are not there where somebody is trying to steal your customer is already committed to a long-term relationship that they cannot easily pull out of. You've committed them to something long-term. So this is one way of converting a one-time transaction into a long-term relationship. You give them the opportunity to do long-term business with you. In their eyes, it's going to be cheaper because the longer you pay for, the less you pay in terms of when you prorate it and all that, right? You can also pack in other benefits. These benefits are only available for our customers on our annual plan or on our quarterly plan. But if you are coming for one time, you can't get access. You can't get access to this service. You can't get access to this product. You can't get access to this perk. There are things you can add in such that it becomes a thing of status and privilege to belong to your long-term plan. instead of just doing transactions. So what you do is you signal to your first-time customers that I want to build a relationship with you. And there's a benefit in building that relationship. It's going to be win-win. You're going to benefit from a discount, you pay less, and then you benefit from the commitment. At least you now have access to this facility. And during that 1 year, I'm going to know more about you. So whether you call it an annual plan, a quarterly plan, you call it a retainer, whatever it is you call it, the underlying philosophy is that you're giving your customers the opportunity to do long-term business with you. That is one way of converting transactional customers into a relationship customer, which essentially builds loyalty. The second way you can convert one-time customers into recurring customers is to own the relationship. You need to own and colonize the relationship. Here's what I mean. This is why it's difficult for many people you know. This is why difficult it is for them to change their mechanics. For many people, their barbers, they've been using the same barber for a long time. Even if the guy has traveled or whatever, they are willing to wait, right? Why these things happen is that those people have owned the relationship. Because when somebody is doing business with you and is buying something, sometimes there's a deeper reason for why they are doing that thing, right? What I've found is that those people who try to understand the end goal, what the customer is trying to achieve, and then, so let me use a barber for example. You know that this guy is always coming to cut his hair, right? And you've noticed he's a busy executive. So what you then offer is, okay, all this, sometimes you call me, I'm not around, I haven't opened. I can come to your house and cut your hair. It's just going to cost you a little bit more. And guess what? This may be somebody who is not comfortable in public, or even coming out of their home might be inconvenient. And then you are offering this additional service, of course, at a higher price. But what you've done here is that you have charged the customer additionally for the convenience that you're providing, and you have colonized that person. Somebody who is coming to cut your hair in your house is different from that barber down the road that you go to cut your hair or get a trim once in a while. That person has owned the relationship. It's going to be very difficult for you to pull out of that, because the person has come into that space in your mind. Whenever you think of cutting your hair, that's the person. It also happens with mechanics sometimes. Some people just, I have this electrical fault or whatever. Maybe the mechanic person is not an electrical person, or you have an AC problem, but that guy is your guy. James is your guy. Sadiq is your guy. You always call him whenever you have car trouble. That guy has colonized the relationship. You cannot call anybody else, because there's a level of trust, and more importantly, there's a level of memory. He has historical memory about your transactions. So I get this sometimes. There are some of my customers who will find it difficult to pull away, because I started with them when they were about to start the business. We've gone through, I've had a front row seat to see their battles when they were trying to raise money, when they opened the business, when they tried to hire their first employee. A lot of things have happened. So right now, it's going to be difficult for you to get another person and start explaining to them that 3 years ago we raised. So John Paul has all their history. It's going to be very difficult for them to engage somebody else. It's going to be inconveniencing, because they have to start explaining everything from scratch. I have the historical memory. So this is just an example of understanding the needs of your customers will help you know what they are trying to achieve. And with that, you're able to colonize that relation. And when you colonize a relationship, it's beyond being intimate. It gives you a level of competitive advantage that is difficult to disconnect from. This typically happens with people who offer services. Whether it's your personal doctor, your personal lawyer, these people own the relationship. Your personal accountant, they own the relationship. Your driver, or somebody who has been offering you a service for a long time. If you think about it, when was the last time you checked, if your mechanic is giving you a fair price for his services, right? For those people who are connected to their mechanics or to their barber. When you colonize a relationship, sometimes those people don't even bother to know what the market rate is. I don't care how much other barbers are charging, because my barber, I'm stuck with him, right? So that is the benefit of colonizing the relationship. You get into your customers such that you understand what they are trying to achieve, and then you align with those things such that they depend on you wholly. They depend on you wholly. So that's another way, colonizing the relationship. The third way you can build loyalty in a business, which we're starting to see. It used to be airlines, this thing called frequent flyer miles. If you use an airline frequently, you start to get bonus points. And at some point, you can trade in those points for something, maybe for a discount or stuff. We're starting to see it with supermarkets. You go to a supermarket to buy something, they're asking you, do you have our card, our membership card, our loyalty card? And the premise is very simple. The more money you spend in our business, the more you get. The more points you get, the more discounts. You can use it to buy something later. All those things, they add up. Because if you think of it, these are people that have been buying from you, but they don't get anything back from you because you are treating all your customers the same. And all your customers are not the same. Some are actually superior to others because business is not a democracy. It's not a one man, one vote. It's not equal rights. Business is a meritocracy. Those people who spend more on you deserve more in terms of value, in terms of treatment, in terms of priority. And the moment you offer these things, that is where loyalty comes, because your customers will see that you're acknowledging their loyalty. And what happens with human beings is that when people see that you're acknowledging something about them, they reinforce that behavior. So the behavior you're reinforcing is the more you buy from us, the more you get. The more you buy from us, the more you get. It might be something small, but compared to other businesses that you keep buying from and they don't give you anything. Maybe at Christmas, they just give you something small. You put in so much money, you don't get anything back. So if you are that business that starts to acknowledge your customers with the view of retaining them and making them loyal, you are going to distance yourself from a lot of businesses, because a lot of businesses want sharp. They want to make sales today. That's why they are spending all this money on ads and all that. Many businesses are not thinking long term because people don't want to build relationships. Maybe they're not thinking about it, or they think it's hard work or whatever. But the truth is that this is human to human. If you care about me, I'll care about you. It doesn't change when you become a customer. Your customers are the same way. So the moment your customers see that you're reaching out, they will reach out. And that's how the handshake happens. That's how you build that relationship. Another interesting way of building that relationship, converting transactional customers into relationship customers, is to introduce perks. There was a person I gave this idea. He wasn't a client, but I just thought, this guy works so hard. Let me give him this perk. He cuts hair. This happened like several years ago. I was like, you have a lot of people who are coming around, and barbershops are a competitive business. The moment another barbershop opens down the road and puts in a couple of other things, people are attracted to novelty. So they tend to gravitate towards new things. I was like, those of us who are your returning customers, you should have like a seat, the way the airlines do it for maybe their frequent flyers or their loyal customers or their first class customers, where even the treatment is different, where you check in is different, where you sit is different. Just have a seat here, that is only for your loyal customers. You can call them something. Even some of the banks are doing it. I don't want to mention names here, but there are a couple of differences. If you are one of those, you first get an email from the bank, and then it tells you, of course, they looked at your transaction history. They know how much you have, how long you've been with the bank, how much you spend. The color of the ATM card is different. If you look at the color of the ATM card is different. They call you a platinum customer or something. So changing the color of the ATM, I didn't pay extra for it, but it just stands out. When you bring out the ATM and people are like, oh, the same bank. What it means is that the bank values you more because you are a priority customer. It may not cost you much more money, but just acknowledging and recognizing your loyal customers when other people are there, particularly when your first-time customers are there. I remember after giving this guy the tip, what happened was sometimes first-time customers come and they're like, but that seat is empty. And then he said, no, these are for VIP customers. And then the question starts, what does it take to be a VIP customer? Is it about money? He said, no, it's not about money. It depends on how long you have been with us for. That's one way they do it. So the only way you can sit on that seat is if you're a VIP customer. How you become a VIP customer is by being a returning customer. So if you've been returning for quite some time, then we'll let you know. Particularly, some people use, if you spend money up to a certain level over a period of time, you become a VIP customer. That's one way. Another way people do it is something like credits. I know the informal traders do this a lot. So maybe you're going to buy provisions or you're going to buy items. For your first-time customers, they pay cash. They pay cash and go. But for your loyal customers, they give them credits. They can give them supplier credits. Take this and go. When you sell, return money. But you can't just get credits except you are a returning customer, except you're a loyal customer. So these are some of the benefits you use to tie people to your business. They know that this is not just about, no matter how much I spend once, I will not become a loyal customer. It's not about price. I'm not charging any special price. It's about time. and it's about the relationship. So the only way you can get there with me is to keep returning, and then at some point you become a loyal customer. So some people do it with credit. They sell goods on credit, but they only sell goods on credit to their loyal customers. Some people give perks, special parking space, a special seat, a special area, you know. So it's like you announce and acknowledge your loyal customers when other people are around, so that people get jealous and envious and they want to achieve that status. So that is how you find that a business that has loyal customers can survive on very few customers, because those customers are returning. Meanwhile, another business is on a treadmill, always looking for the next customer. You are always looking for the next customer, but you're not catching, you're not retaining any customer. So that is why you are similar to a leaking bucket. You spend all this money to acquire a customer, and they only spend on you once, and after that once, you don't see them again. That is not a sustainable way to run a business. You are always going to be stressed, because you will always be looking for new customers. And if anything happens, a recession, a pandemic, a crisis, you are in trouble, because you don't have loyal customers. Nobody is going to remember you. People are going to be thinking about their budgets, about their pockets, about their interests. Except there is a relationship, that's when you're going to be remembered. So essentially, the message here is that all your customers are not the same. Some of your customers are superior, far superior to your other customers, because business, particularly when you're dealing with customers, is not a democracy. It's not a one man, one vote. It's not equal rights. The rights you get depend on how much you have spent in the business and invested in the business as a customer. And again, if you reach out to your customers, you show them you value them, you put them in a certain category, you are going to make other people jealous and envious, and they will want to get into that space. And the only way to get into that space is not about paying a higher price. It's about time and consistency and returning to the business. So if this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is John Paul Iwuoha. I'm a business strategy specialist. I solve tough business problems, and I make it easier and faster to build a business. So many times the problem with your business is not the next shiny object or the next tactic. I've run out of, I can't count anymore how many business. So the funny thing is, that small thing that is giving you sleepless nights in your business, that thing that seems like an elephant in your business, to somebody like me who eats business problems for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it may seem to me like a mosquito or a fly. So that is the essence of the value that I bring to business owners. Whether you're trying to start a business, run the business efficiently and grow the business, whether you're struggling to raise capital to start or grow your business, you have a couple of business ideas, you don't know which one to get into, which can be a dangerous mistake, because if you start the wrong kind of business, you're going to pay dearly. It will not just affect you financially, it may damage you psychologically, particularly when it comes to business. You're trying to grow your business, you've been running your business for some time, but you feel stagnant. You're trying to penetrate to the next level, but you just cannot figure it out. These are just a couple of the problems that I solve. Also, the profit problem. We have a lot of businesses that are open and running, but they are not turning the profits, either because of operational inefficiencies, or they have not hacked their sales problem, or it could be a problem with pricing or something like that. Whatever the problems you're having with your business, I specialize in solving business problems. And that is why, if you're just seeing me for the first time, or if this is your first time of coming across and you're watching this in August, I'm inviting you to join the business mentorship program. So this is a bit different, right? I'm not selling a training program. Training programs don't particularly work for business owners. Why? Because a training starts and it ends. But your problems, your business problems, are daily. They are punching you in the face every single day. They cannot wait for you to wake up. Every business owner is dealing with problems on a daily. So why would I sell you a book or a training program or whatever? What you need is ongoing support. And that ongoing support, you're going to find it in my business mentorship group, the BMG. So to join the BMG, to learn more about the BMG and everything it has to offer, follow the link on your screen. The time to join is limited, and the number of people I can serve is also limited. So unfortunately, I'm just one person. I wish I could help other people intimately, but to get that kind of support, I can't do it for a lot of people. I can only do it for a few people, and I need to do it for the right people. So this is not about how much you can pay. No, you need to be qualified first. So follow the link on your screen right now, or you might find the link above or below this video in the comments. Follow the link, answer the questions to find out if you qualify. Congratulations if you qualify. You're going to join the waiting room, and then from there we progress into the business mentorship group, the BMG, on the 31st of August 2024. So don't forget, all your customers are not the same. If you have been making that mistake, I urge you to stop. You need to support, acknowledge, recognize, and elevate those people that spend more in your business. You need to reward consistency. It's not about spending, it's not about giving you a lot of money today and I don't come back tomorrow. That's not the kind of business you want. You don't want to make a lot of money today and tomorrow there's nobody buying from you. That's not what will help your business. What you need is consistency. People that buy today, they buy tomorrow, they'll buy next week, they'll buy next month, they'll buy next year. The more of those kinds of people you have, the more you are going to have a business that you can run without always worrying about where your next sale will come from, where the money to pay your rent will come from, how your business will turn a profit. Returning customers are the bedrock of a business. Never forget that rule. Thank you. Bye.